Okay, welcome to Mustard Seed Nursery and Primary School e-learning program. Our motto is Arise and Shine. In Mustard Seed, we cater for all the pupils that we have. We take care of them. Some of the activities that we do at school, we have the computer lessons. We basically give them basic computer skills. As you can see on your right-hand side, we have children who are trying to instruct their fellow children. During COVID-19, when P4, P5, P6 schools were reopened, we were also following the SOPs. So basically, these are some of the contacts that you can follow to inquire more about Mustard Seed. So due to this brief introduction, allow me to request one of the learners to lead us into the opening prayer. Manuela, can you unmute yourself and lead us into the opening prayer? Manuela? Manuela, unmute yourself and lead us into the opening prayer.
Yourselves. Humble yourselves. Lord, we thank you for this day. We thank you for us being here. As we go through these lessons, protect us and guide us and help us to listen to what the teacher has taught us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Manuela, for that wonderful prayer. May God bless you. So, dear learners, I hope you are able to see my screen. My learners, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Primary 5 Science presented by Akenya Tonny. And in our lesson, we are going to discuss biological changes. We are going to discuss biological changes in this lesson. Down here, I also have my contact for those of you who may want to contact me and inquire more about these lessons. You can contact me. My email address is there. So thank you so much. We have this program that is going to be running for this month of November and some few weeks in the month of December, and then we can go for Christmas. So also I would like to inform you that our lesson is being live streamed. We are live on YouTube. For those of you who may miss, or your friends who have missed this lesson, we shall be able to share with them the link so that they can follow this lesson. So thank you so much. Members, let's go straight to what we are going to look at right now. Now, we are going to look at biological changes. And the first thing we should be able to know is, what are biological changes? Can I have any learner here to define for us what biological changes are? What are biological changes, learners? Yes, anyone? If you know the answer, please, you try to put up your hands and you give us what it means by biological changes. What are biological changes? Yes, Awad. Yes, Awad, you can unmute. Okay. Yes, Awad, what are biological changes?
Biological changes are changes that take place in living things.
Awad said biological changes are changes that take place in living things. I can see, and I can see Sirat also. Sirat, do you have a different answer? Sirat?
Teacher, I was going to say that.
Oh, you are okay. She has mentioned your answer. So basically, when we talk about biological changes, these are changes that take place in the life of living things. That is what we mean by biological changes. So they only take place in the life of living things, meaning that biological changes does not take place in non-living things. Okay? So this definition tells us that biological changes only take place in the life of living things, those things that have life in them, okay? Those things that have life in them. So basically, that means biological changes take place in plants and the animals. By the way, biological changes are said to be natural because they occur on their own. They take place on their own. You cannot be the driving factor to make sure that biological changes take place. Okay, so let us go ahead and look at this note. I want someone to read for me. I want someone to read for me this note. Allow me to request Sirat to read the note. Sirat, can you read the note?
Teacher Singh, welcome to my
note.
Oh, you can't see the note?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let us do this. Right now, can you see the notes?
Yes.
Can you read?
Biological changes are said to be natural because they occur by nature.
They occur by nature. Okay. They occur by nature. So that is what we say biological changes. Now, here we are saying they take place in animals and plants. They take place in animals and what? Plants. Because these are living things. Yes?
What about people?
What about people? So when we talk about animals, remember when you were looking at classification of animals. So here, when we are talking about animals, we have grouped all of them together. We are talking about people. We are talking about these other animals, domestic animals. We are talking about birds. Name them, okay? We are grouping them under what? Under animals. Okay, Sirat, have you got it?
Yes.
So these biological changes, they take place in plants and animals. So I hope you are able to see my screen, what we are discussing.
Yes.
Now, I want us to, because we have said biological changes take place in plants and animals. So we are going to now look at some of the examples of biological changes in animals and then biological changes in plants. So let us look at some of the examples, which I need you people to discuss with me, some of these examples of biological changes. Let us begin with the examples of biological changes in plants. Okay, can you give me some of the examples of biological changes in plants? Gary, Gary has not connected the audio. We have Awad. Yes, Awad, give us one.
Fertilization. In plants, germination.
Awad said, oh, it's enough. You can give us one. Now let me ask you before I start displaying. Are you able to see that that slide where we are saying examples of biological changes?
Yes, in plants.
Yeah.
In plants. So we are trying to give these answers. Okay. Awad has said we have germination. Okay. Oh, I've already written the one that you have not said. So we have growth. Do plants grow?
Yes.
Yes.
Plant, they grow. Now, you can now give me others. Apart from the one we have mentioned, let me try to write. Whatever you are mentioning, I'm going to be writing. Then after we can. Awad has already said we have germination. I hope you are able to see. Any other person? Yes, Valentino? Valentino?
Flowering.
We have flowerings. So these are some of the examples of changes that take place in plants. Apart from flowering, Sirat?
What about photosynthesis?
Sirat is saying, what about photosynthesis? Photosynthesis is not an example of biological changes, okay?
What about germination?
You are just guessing. You are just, let us not guess. You give.
Pollination.
Somebody said germination, we have already written.
Pollination.
Okay. Pollination.
Leaves.
Which one?
Fruiting. Fruiting.
Fruiting, very good.
Fruiting.
Fruiting, very good. Fruiting.
Molting. Shedding of leaves.
Shading of leaves. See where I'm writing. Shading. Shading of leaves. Another one.
Molting.
Rotting. Rotting is going to be an example of chemical changes. So we need to be able to differentiate them, okay? So one, we have growth. Somebody also talked about germination. What is germination? Is there anybody who knows the meaning of germination? What is germination? Yes, Manuela?
Germination is the transfer of a seed into a seedling.
Transfer. You use a different word apart from transfer. Change the word transfer into a different word. What is germination? Who can put it in a better term?
Germination is the growing of a seed into a seedling.
Very good. Germination is the growing of a seed into a seedling. Okay, that is what it means by germination. Or you can also say germination is the development of a seed into a seedling. So when we talk about a seedling, we mean a young plant. A young plant is called a seedling. Okay, the next one, we also have what we call flowering. Okay, who can tell us, who can explain for us what it means by flowering? What do we mean when we talk about flowering, according to you? Yes, Sirat? Yes, Sirat, flowering.
Flowering.
Yes. Anyone to explain the meaning of flowering? But you know flowers, isn't it? Yes, Valentino. Oh, I think Gary's network is on and off and is not able to even connect. So when this is where plants start putting in flowers, okay? When the plant reach that stage of bearing flower, so that is what we call flowering. So when they start putting flowers, then we can say the plant is now flowering. And then another one, we also have fruiting, okay? You know, after fertilization has taken place, okay? After fertilization has taken place in plants, then the plants start developing. There is what we call the ovary, okay? Ovary now start changing into fruits. And then the ovules begin changing into seeds. So that process, we call it fruiting. And that is a biological change. The next one, we also talk about ripening of fruits. Ripening here means the fruits start getting ready for you to what? For you to go and harvest and you eat. For example, we all know mango tree. The mango fruits, they start bearing what? Fruits. After bearing that fruits start what? Start ripening. And even they can sometimes become yellow in color. So those are some of the examples of biological changes that we have. And we can also talk about shedding of leaves. For example, in majorly plants start shedding off their leaves during what? During dry season, in order to reduce on the rate of transpiration. Okay, so this is a biological change. So these are some of the examples of biological changes in plants. Okay, now let's also give examples of biological changes in animals. What are some of the examples of biological changes in animals? Let's have Adam Gary. Adam Gary, can you give us one of the examples of biological changes in animals? Yes, Adam. Okay, so here I will try to, what have you said?
Fertilization.
We have fertilization. Fertilization, good. Fertilization. Good. Any other? Yes, Sirat?
Growth.
We also have growth. So growth takes place both in plants and what? And animals. You see, right now you were just in your mother's womb, okay? You started by being fetus. From there, you were developing in your mother's womb for 9 months. After 9 months, they produced you. After producing you, you were just a baby, a young baby. Now you are in primary 6 and you have so many changes that is taking place in your body. So that is basically what we call growth. Okay, a child grows into youth, from youth to adulthood, and then you become very old. So that is what we call growth. And that is biological changes that take place in human beings, takes place in animals, takes place in plants. Okay. Another one apart from these two. Yes, Awad, can you give us another example of biological changes in animals? Awad? I hope Awad is there with us.
Yes, teacher, I'm here. Molting.
We have molting. Very good. We have molting. Yes. What do we mean when we talk about molting? Manuela, what is molting? Manuela? Yes, Manuela. What is molting? Is there anyone who can give us the meaning of molting? I can see one hand up. Oh, Sirat. Yes, Sirat. What is molting?
Molting is the shedding off of feathers or fur so that you can grow others.
So that you can grow others. That is from Sirat. That is, you have a very good idea about molting there. You see some of these things you learn them when you are talking about reptiles, okay? Under reptiles, we talked about molting. So, yes, any other to try? Any other person to try? Yes, Adam Gary, can you try? What is molting? Adam Gary, you remember we are saying molting is one of the biological changes in animals. So what do we mean when we talk about molting?
Molting is when animals shed their fur or molting is when animals shed their fur.
Okay, that is now in simple terms, we can say molting is the removal of the outer old skin, okay, to allow animals grow a new skin and increase in size. Let me try to write for you here. It is very important for you to know this because they can ask you. So when we talk about molting, you can take note of that, my learners and my viewers. Molting is the removal of the outer old skin, the removal of outer old skin to allow animals grow a new skin and increase in size. Yes, Sirat, can you read that? Sirat, can you read that?
Molting is the removal of the outer old skin to allow animals grow a new skin and increase in size.
So for example, they majorly take place in reptiles like snakes, okay?
Yes.
They majorly take place in reptiles like snakes, lizards. Those are some of the animals that carry out molting. So they remove the outer old skin. So when they are removing, when that outer old skin is being removed, we call that term as molting, and it is an example of a biological change, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so have we understood the meaning of molting well?
Yes.
Now let's go to another example apart from all these three that we have given. Can we have others? Or I can display for you some of these answers. One, you have already talked about growth. We talked about molting. Also, we have fertilization. Okay, what is fertilization? What is fertilization? Yes, Awat is not there. Is there anyone who knows the meaning of fertilization? Yes, Manuela, what is fertilization? Manuela? Manuela, can you try what fertilization is? How about Sirat? Sirat, can you try? Valentino is also there on call. Can you try what fertilization is? We are saying it is an example of a biological change. So when we talk about fertilization, fertilization is the union of a male, a male and female reproductive cells to form a zygote, okay? Like the union of the sperm and the ova of from female. So when they get together, they form what we call a zygote. So that is what we call fertilization. So it takes place both in plants and animals. Because when pollination takes place, okay, the pollen grain which is transferred from the anther to the stigma, it flows down through the style and then goes down and form what we call the ovules. So when fertilization takes place now, that is where ovules becomes the what? The seeds, and the ovary becomes the fruits. So fertilization takes place both in plants and the animals. Have we understood that? Members, are we together?
Yes.
Good. So we also
Yes.
have another example of biological change in the animals. We have, Gary, can you read that? Gary, can you read that? The next
Hatching
example.
of eggs.
Hatching of
Hatching
eggs.
of eggs.
Very good. So when a hen lays eggs, you find that it sits on that eggs for 21 days, isn't it? So
Yes.
after sitting on it for 21 days, the eggs start breaking and the chicks come out. So when it is breaking and the chick is coming outside, that's what we call hatching of eggs. Okay. So this is a biological change in animals. And then the next one, we also have reproduction. Okay, reproduction in animals. Yes, this is simply means animal multiply in number. Okay, you remember in the world we had only two people, Adam and Eve. Now these days, what kind of population do we have? Like in Uganda here. Okay, people are multiplying day by day. So that is what we call reproduction. So it takes place in animals. So basically, I just wanted us to discuss examples of biological changes in plants and animals. So I have some of the brain check here. When I talk about brain check, I simply means some of the activity, the questions that I want us to try, and then we can end our lesson. Members, are you seeing my next slide? Sirat, are you seeing my next slide?
Yes.
Okay, can you
No.
read what? Can you read?
Brain check.
Teacher, I can't see.
Okay, are you not seeing brain check?
You are saying brain check.
The first question is here. Who is answering the first question? You read the question, you answer it. Okay, who is answering that first question? Manuela? Manuela first. Manuela first.
Biological changes are changes that occur in the life of living things.
That is, what are biological changes? Okay, Sirat, can you repeat what Manuela has said? What are biological changes?
Biological changes are changes that occur in living things.
Very good. Number 2 is Adam Gary. Adam Gary, can you read number 2?
Repeat what I have said.
Biological changes are changes that occur in living things.
Can you see number 2? Are you able to see number 2?
Yes.
Can you read question number 2?
Why is germination called a biological change?
Why is germination called a biological change? Who has the answer for that? Who has the answer for that? Yes. Yes. Anybody to give us the answer? Why is germination called a biological change? Yes, Adam Gary.
Because it happens in living things and it is irreversible.
Because it takes place in the life of living things and it is irreversible. Irreversible here means it cannot be changed back. So once the seed germinates like this, you cannot change that seedlings back into the seed. Okay, it takes place in the life of living things. The next question is Awad. Awad, can you read the next question? Awad, can you read the next question? Okay, Awad. Do we have Awad on call? Yes, I think so. I think we have Awad. Yes, Awad, read the next question. Go ahead and read the next question, Awad.
Apart from germination,
Yes, apart from germination, mention any 2 other examples of biological changes in plants. That's the question. Yes, apart from germination, mention any 2 other examples of biological changes in plants. Yes, Adam Gary. Yes, Adam Gary, go ahead.
Flowering.
We have flowering. They asked for 2. Can you give another one?
Fruiting.
Fruiting, very good, very good. The next question goes to Sirat. The next question goes to Sirat. Sirat, this is the next question which is for you. What is molting? Yes, Sirat.
Molting is the removal of outer skin to grow another one and increase in size.
That is Sirat, but she has left some of the words, but is correct. Okay, that is from Sirat. Any other person? So Sirat, when you are talking about molting, for you to flow well, you can say molting is the removal of the outer old skin to allow animal grow a new skin and increase in size. is the removal of the outer old skin to allow animal grow a new skin and also increase in size. So when molting takes place in animals, that outer skin is going to be removed, and then the new skin will come on, and even the animal will increase in size. For example, if it is a snake, that snake, if it is small and carries out molting, then it's going to increase in size. So that is what we call molting. So basically, thank you so much. This is what I organized for you. Thank you so much for learning with me. May God bless you all. Okay. Are you able to see my next slide, Sirat?
Yes.
So can we have someone to lead us into the closing prayer? Adam Gary, can you come on and lead us into the closing prayer? Adam Gary?
Humble yourselves.
Before God.
Father, you have helped us today. I want you to continue helping us and keep us together. We have done our lessons and we are thankful for everything you have done. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Members,